Well, I do hope that you enjoyed your stop at the thrift shop. Now it's time to spend a little of that money, money, money. Let's go to the mall this morning, everybody. Per your requests, it's a morning of mall music right here with Uncle Pete in the morning. I don't know why you asked for this, but you did, so you're getting it. We're going to go ahead and continue our walk through the. Whoops. Oh, my goodness. What a wonderful morning. Oh, we're continuing our walk through the mall right now with a few minutes with the Confessions of a Shopaholic. Remember, you asked for it, we play it. Usually the rule is we play almost anything once. And today, this morning, it's a walk through the mall with Uncle Pete in the morning right here on 216 The Net. And that was a little mall diddly called Price Match. Literally, it was. Next up, well, hey, now we're taking a look in your shopping bag. Uncle Pete in the morning today, per your request, Uncle Pete goes to the mall. I don't know why you guys asked for this, but you did, so here we go. It's a morning of mall music, or mall muzac, is that what they used to call this? So you can imagine you're strolling through the great big wide halls of your favorite mall, just shopping, maybe stopping at a Jamba Juice or Orange Julius. I don't think those exist anymore anyway. Perhaps it would be a Cinnabon or a Panda Express. Maybe you'll wander into your favorite shoe store or your favorite tchotchke store. I don't know. What's at the mall? I feel, reflecting on this, it's been a long freaking time since I've been to a mall. Oh, crap. It's been more than a year. Last time I went to a mall was with my wife, my lovely wife, Mary Catherine. And that was before Christmas of 2019. Holy cow. Do y'all miss the mall? Is that what this is all about? Well, that's all that was in your shopping bag. I hope it was what you wanted. Actually, Kent, it was a unique combination of tamale and scented pot this morning. But I was thinking ahead, and I brought to the studio a nice full spray bar of Febreze. So we have been effectively, thoroughly, completely Febreze this morning. So now it smells nice and pleasant in here. You'd never know that yesterday on Anything Goes, yesterday evening, 6 p.m. Central, Anything Goes was the first ever Great Tamale Challenge. Is that what it was? The Tamale Challenge, the first ever Great Tamale Challenge. And I don't know who won. I was trying to find anything in comments that would indicate. I'm going to have to go back because I was only able to catch up until you ate the 5th entry of tamale yesterday. Then we had to start moving again. But who won? Anybody know? Anybody out there know who won yesterday? I don't. I will say thank you so much for someone left. Let's see here. Let's do this the right way. And I imagine this was Dawn. Dawn left tamales for producer Pete because I was not able to produce yesterday, second week in a row. And so tamales for producer Pete were left. And I'm very thankful. And these are my favorite kind of tamales. I hate tamales. I really do. But these are acceptable. Thank you so much. This is breakfast this morning for Uncle Pete. Absolutely it is. And I'm looking forward to that. I noticed all the garbage cans were empty. I did notice that. So thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very, very much. So, okay, now this is interesting. Angelo's was the best one. So the best one was store-bought. Angelo's, are you talking about Angelo's Market right here in the McHenry, Johnsburg, and Richmond areas? Oh, my tamales are from Lil Bird Kitchen and Fred Dudek. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Fred, you're an awesome man. Lil Bird Kitchen, Fred Dudek. Go to Facebook. Check out Lil Bird Kitchen. That's awesome, Fred. Thank you very much. Let's see. But the winner by a few points was Rich Conley, just edging out Tim Santos. So Rich Conley was the winner, but Angelo's was the best one. But is that your opinion there on that, Kent? On the best, or were they not eligible because they were store bought? But congratulations, Rich Conley, on winning the first ever Anything Goes Tamale Challenge. And again, my tamales, the Twinkies, were from Lil Bird Kitchen, Fred Dudek. That's awesome. Fred, thank you so much. You're a good man. And again today, you asked for Mall Muzac. Mall Muzac. So that's where it's at. That's what you're getting. You asked for it. You know the rules. Almost anything once. Uncle Pete in the morning here on 216 The Net. This is an entire morning of mall music. And Kent does say store-bought were not eligible for the win. Okay, that's fair enough because was it a cook-off challenge? It was a cook-off challenge, correct? Not just an eating challenge. Eating, I guess, would have been the volume or number of tamales you ate. So it was a cook-off challenge. So again, our congratulations go out to Rich Conley, who, as I understand it, is the husband of Steph Conley. Now, Steph Conley is the host of Ask a Bookkeeper that airs the first and third Friday right here on 216 Net at 3:30 p.m. Central. Great show. And she is also the owner of Steph's Bookkeeping Service, which is right down the hall from the studio. So Tim Santos came in second then, I'm guessing. And congratulations to Tim on second. That's no small notification or notoriety step there. Kent says, I need to head down to JCPenney and then stop at Orange Julius before heading to the Aladdin Castle Arcade. I love the Aladdin Castle arcades. Used to hit those and the Orange Julius. I stopped at an Orange Julius more than once myself. Right now we are at Drink Bar Music. This is the tune that they believe fits a mall bar. And that's okay. Drink Bar Music. And after the drink bar, we're going to stop at the cocktail bar. Then we're going to learn all about credit cards and happy hours. Then we'll get back into shopping with the shopping song and shopping madness. Then we'll take a mall coffee break. But I do hope you're enjoying your tour through the mall here with Uncle Pete in the morning. You asked for it, you got it. It's a mall kind of day. Spencer's. Yes, Kent says then hopefully Spencer's Gifts is still open for some of that risque fun. Used to stop at Spencer's when I was a young fella. I bought a lot of posters at Spencer's. I also bought a little gag gift that was an air freshener, but it was fart spray. So it said right on it, was a big white can with just it said fart spray. I remember that. And what I had discovered is way back then, I had many albums, vinyl, with no jackets, no covers, that would sit in this little rack, and they would get very dusty. And I discovered by accident that if I sprayed the fart spray on them and then wiped them down, it would clean them very, very nicely without scratching with a very nice light terry cloth towel. I discovered that by accident because some got on them. I thought, oh no, they're ruined. I got to wipe them up and clean them up quickly. But it actually worked very well. And so that's actually how I kept my albums that had no jacket covers dust-free for a while, with fart spray from Spencer's Gifts. And of course, that was way back and right around, I think that was around, good Lord, that had to have been somewhere in the 82, 83 of the 1900s. Ken says, as a kid, I wasted a ton of days just hanging at the mall. I did the same thing. We would go to, back in the 80s, I grew up in Independence, Missouri, a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri. And there was the Independence Mall that was built in the mid to late 70s. And back then, it was just huge. It was like this huge, giant structure that just stood out of nowhere, that was on the outskirts on a big highway that ran between the far northeast side of Independence and on into Lee Summit, Missouri, and one of the large throughway streets that kind of, right when it kind of ended out there. Again, this was back in the late 70s, but this massive place, and we used to go there all the time. You could hop on the bus. I think it was like 15 cents for a bus ride to go to the mall. Ken says, I think it was the Westland Mall in West Burlington.
Did your parents drop you off, or did like we had to hop the bus? Our parents were not driving us down there. We had to hop the bus to the mall, but it was no big deal. I mean, it was 15 cents. So you had to make sure you had 30 cents in your pocket in dimes and nickels. Because it was exact change required. I remember that. It was probably with all the stops, it was probably about a 30-minute ride from where we lived down to the mall. It wasn't long. Maybe a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Oh yeah, this is a long time ago. You can get your mall walk groove on with this. And that was the cocktail bar. This tune is called Credit Cards. They made shopping easy. Still do, probably a little too easy for some. Ken says we rode our bikes and chained them up on the rack outside. Yeah, all the bike racks at the mall. I remember seeing those. Yeah, we never rode our bikes to the mall. There was never one close enough, or we didn't live close enough to a mall to ride our bikes. Probably about a 15-minute bike ride or so. That's pretty good. That's not too bad. It would have been way too far, and you had to cross too many treacherous roads, big main drags to get out there from where we lived. So it was not a bike riding event to go to the mall. We just hopped the bus. And always took plenty of coffee because you would get the little styrofoam cups, but there were a lot of, because I started drinking coffee at a very young age. But you could, you could get a small styrofoam cup of coffee for a nickel that they would refill, or a larger one for a dime. I mean, the mall for me was a change in my pocket kind of day, because you had to have quarters for the arcade, you had to have dimes and nickels for the bus, dimes and nickels for coffee. And if I had enough in my pocket, if I'd saved up enough, I would usually stop in at Spencer's Gifts, look through the posters. I wouldn't get one all the time. I had a few on my wall, but would stop in there for a poster. I think a poster was like maybe $1.25. I don't remember. It wasn't much. It really wasn't. And then try to have money to pick a place to eat at the mall. And of course, Ken says, of course, of course, we had to stop at the 7-Eleven to get a big gulp. Big gulp suicide style, because it was such a long ride. We used to either go to 7-Eleven or Quick Trip. By where I lived, there was, up the hill and around the corner, there was a Quick Trip. Same thing as 7-Eleven. And we used to go there and do the suicide style with one of the big glasses. But yeah, big gulp at 7-Eleven. That was a great big. And for those of you who don't know what a suicide style was, that's where you hit every single one of the drinks and just filled that up. And you just had this big mess of carbonated drink. So, and there, yeah, Kent just described that. Suicide style is soda from every type of soda available. Yep. We did that too. We did hang out at the Quick Trip a lot because they had a few arcade games. They had, of course, Pac-Man when that came out. Space Invaders, Galaga. I'm trying to remember. They changed them out too fairly frequently, except for Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man when that came out. They had those like always. Zaxxon. Trying to remember those. By the way, this is Happy Hours. No, Pole Position and Galaga. Were those your favorites? Kent says Pole Position and Galaga. I think I like the Red Baron, the flying one where you shot, and it was just really a kind of a white stick line game. But I like shooter games. I like that one. And was it Asteroids? That was just a little arrow that shot at the floating asteroid, the little, and it was all just white lines, but you blew them up, and it was really the sound that was more exciting than the graphics. But that Space Invaders, I like the shooter games. Galaga, Zaxxon, another spaceship shooting game. Oh, Centipede, Kent says. Centipede was another good 7-Eleven game. Yeah, that was there. My wife actually is really, because we got the gaming systems, of course, as the kids grew up. And I don't know what system it was on, but she had Centipede, and she was really actually very good at Centipede. I didn't play that one very much. I didn't play a lot. I played them and I enjoyed them, but I was not, and never have really been a huge gamer. I just haven't. I never got into it like other people did. Like shooters nowadays. I know my kids grew up playing them. They turned out just fine and dandy. I don't know. I just didn't quite get into. I was always the guy going outside. Couldn't really play video games outside unless you had the little portable ones, like the Coleco football and the little Coleco driver thing. This is the shop song, so get your shop on. Where are you stopping next? Tub and Towel. I think that was the precursor to Bed Bath & Beyond. Macy's. Used to go into Macy's. Does that exist anymore? I don't think it does. I think it's something else now. Sticks Bearer Fuller. Remember that. JCPenney was always in the mall. Still is to these days. In fact, there's a JCPenney here in McHenry, just right up north on 31, but it's in a strip mall. It's not an actual mall. Sears before Sears. Is Sears still around? I think like the outlet, Sears outlets for like the appliances and such. I think those are around. Is there an actual Sears anymore? We used to go in there. Ken says, back in the day when a 13-year-old could buy cigarettes, yep, but couldn't look at the dirty magazines on the rack. And they always put them up on the top where the kids couldn't reach them. At least they did in the Quick Trip that we used to go to. I remember that. That was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, even when I was a little kid, I had an aunt that used to have me when we were in her town in Kansas. I mean, I was 8, 9, 10. You would walk down to the little corner gas station, and she'd send me down with money to buy her a couple packs of cigarettes. You go in and say, hey, my aunt sent me down. He goes, oh, yeah. You tell him her name, and then you pay for it. They send you away with a couple packs of cigarettes. Take them back down to her. Here you go. My aunt Judy did that. So, which would probably make my mother livid at this point in time. Yonkers. I don't think I've ever been to a Yonkers. I've heard of it, but I've never actually been to a Yonkers. Never seen a Yonkers. And then, the county seat, the land of Levi's and all things denim. Did we have one of those? We had a Levi's store. I think it was just Levi's and Wrangler. Wrangler jeans were always the ones that seemed to last long. I don't know. Levi's were good back in the day. I wouldn't buy them now. Wrangler, I mean, I prefer jeans over anything else. I pretty much, because I had to wear suits for decades. Slacks, dress slacks, khakis, those kind of things. I still have them in my closet. If I do not have to wear them, like if I can avoid wearing them at all, I do. I prefer jeans, even if they're a nice dark denim, to make them appear a little dressier with a dress shirt. I hate slacks and khakis, mostly just because I had to wear them. It was required. Oh, Sam Goody all day as well. Yep. We used to hang in the record. We either go down to the corner record store, the one in the square, or to Sam Goody. Yep. All the time. Flipping through the albums, looking at the album covers, looking for By the way, if you're still into vinyl, right here local, near McHenry, just right down the road. Let me get this out. Yeah, just right down the road. They're right there on the corner, 812 Rand Road in Lakemore. 812 Rand Road in Lakemore, Reef Records. Reef Records, very, very cool. And if you can see that, I don't mind giving them a little plug. It's a very cool little record store. 815-271-5463. And I don't think they're open on Mondays, if I recall. And I don't think they open until noon. Give them a call or check them out. ReefRecordsLLC.com. Reef, REEF Records LLC.com. Check them out. Very cool little record store right there in Lakemore, just over on the east side of McHenry itself. Ken says Co-op Records was the corner record store where he was. It was cool because it had a marijuana leaf on its side. That's how you knew it was a cool, hip, happening record store. So if they had the marijuana leaf, that's funny. I don't remember the names of there were small, like mom and pop record stores in our neighborhoods growing up, and I don't remember the names of them. I remember Sam Goody because that was at the mall. I do not remember I don't remember the names of just the little record stores. I wish I did. So yeah, no, those kind of places, they never, like those, or the record store. Ken says no paraphernalia, but had that on the sign. And yeah, those were the cool places, the record stores or the bookstores that were just kind of like the hip. They were like the leftovers, the hipster, the beatnik stores from the 50s and 60s that had those on there. And you could tell that those were the people that were in there. I mean, now in retrospect, thinking about going back in those were where the hipster beatnik, the beatnik hipster doofuses, like the man bun people. That's where a lot of them owned those, and that's where they hung out. Yeah. And back then they wore black berets and black turtlenecks. Now they wear man buns, I suppose. Man bun's not a great look. Not at least in my book. So this is Shopping with Friends. Gotta get that little guitar thing going in the background there. I got to keep an eye on the time here this morning. We had a hard time getting started today. Things just did not want to work. YouTube was not working for a bit, and BeLive was not working for a bit, and we just finally made it work about 7:18 this morning. Everything fell into place. However, I do have to step out and walk away at 8:30 this morning. Going to I don't know if it's top secret. I don't even know if it's secret at all, because I'm going. And if I'm going, that means I know about it. But the McHenry Area Chamber of Commerce is going to sponsor and host a film festival this year in October. And there is a meeting on that this morning at 9 a.m. And going to go over there, check that out, see what everybody has in mind for that film festival coming up this year. Thinking in October, might actually get to have a few folks walk in and sit down in a place. God forbid we still have to mask up at that point in time. And I shan't have comments on that because, hey, I'm enjoying my time at the mall. Remembering when you could go to a mall, and you could go to a mall without putting on a face diaper to catch all the droplets and spittle that apparently we were spewing on everyone as we walked through the malls. Who knew? Yeah, Ken says, at the record store, it was always the 30-year-old guy or gal working. He had a sweet mustache, and she always had tie-dye and pigtails. So it sounds like yours were a little bit more from the 60s kind of free love era. I don't remember. Well, was it? Tie-dye was kind of a thing way back for me in the early 70s, and then it came back again in the 90s for about 5 minutes. In the 90s, I had a pair of tie-dye long johns that I absolutely loved and that my wife absolutely hated, even though she bought them for me. But long johns, and if you guys don't know what long johns are, that is the full adult male one-piece thermal underwear that you put on in the winter so that you have that extra layer of warmth. And I had a nice big tie-dye long john. Do you remember when you would like splash bleach on your jeans to do, not the tie-dye, but the bleach out, and you have bleach splotches all over your jeans? I did that long ago, and I would wear that with like a tie-dye t-shirt. The bleach splash jeans with a tie-dye t-shirt. Well, I was a hip little fella back in the 70s. Yeah, I was a little fellow once upon a time. I was not the robust Uncle Pete you see before you today. Shall I stick with robust? That sounds like a friendlier word. Robust. Is that PC for obese? or perhaps Zoftig means the same thing. Also, this kind of stuff would be playing. We used to go to a place my dad would take me. Because this was like the mall before the mall. It was in Independence on Noland Road. Independence, Missouri, Noland Road. Once upon a time, there was a place called Wild Woody's. And Wild Woody's was a huge, massive, giant warehouse that they had come in and put stalls in. There were no doors or shops, so to speak. It was also kind of probably the precursor to a lot of antique mall kind of things. But there were actual stores, but they were in almost like animal stalls. And they were open front, except for a gate that they could pull down over their stall when they were closed. And some were like regular kind of stores. Some were like garage sale stuff. There were tools. There were car parts. There were tires, there were clothes, there were appliances, furniture, toys, candy, all kinds of stuff. You would walk through, and they had two. They had like just like a little counter, like a quick, again, this is before walking into a McDonald's in Independence. They had like a burger counter, burger and fries. You go in and order something real quick just at the counter, and they bring it up. And then they had a cafeteria where you go in, place your order. Line was long, and it was all like cafeteria tables, like schools, seating style. And my dad loved that place. We used to go in there a lot, but that was long. That was like late. I was very young, late 60s. Very early 70s. Wild Woody's, Noland Road in Independence. I remember really enjoying going there because that's where I usually got a little egg of silly putty and then actually got something at one of the food places there. I have no idea how much it cost. And it was either there or when my dad was, I don't know, when he was in a good mood and he took me to the Zarda ice cream shop, also on Noland Road in Independence. And it was just like an ice cream parlor, but it was Zarda. And you could get some sandwiches or anything ice cream. And it was a really big long counter. It had the stools that spun, no chairs. It was all stools and the little tables and everything. And you could sit there, but and you could get like the dip or the shell dip. Zarda. And I think Zarda turned into a barbecue, if I'm not mistaken, but it was just a little ice cream shop when I was growing up. All right. If you're stopping in the exercise place, what was that called? Jazzercise or something. What was it called? Where you would go, this is called the workout plans, this tune for the mall. There was always one of those in there, it seemed, where the people would go in and just do, like, they weren't lifting weights or anything, they were just running in place and doing something with balls and mats and stuff. I don't remember what that was called. It wasn't yoga, because they were actively doing things, not just stretching and, stuff like that. But, was it jazzercise? Some kind of, musical, and someone would lead the thing. Or I just remember that. Ken says he always had to get the big soft pretzel. I've never ever been much of a pretzel person. Never. I don't mind the big soft pretzels. They're all right with a little cheese to dip them in. The big soft pretzels, they're all right. I don't mind them, but those weren't something that. Oh, there you go, Kent. Aroba size. What was that? Aroba size. Yeah. Back in the 70s and 80s, aroba size was the big thing. There you go. You got it. Kent knows. I wouldn't really call this much of a workout kind of tune, though. But this track is Workout Plans. Chill out music for shopping. This is the shopping trolley. There, as malls got bigger and bigger, there were a couple that did have the little trolleys for the parking lot that you could wait. You would park, and then you'd take the trolley over to the mall. They would drop you off at the door, especially if it was raining. I don't know if the Independence Mall ever had that, but some of the bigger ones, as they started springing up in the 80s, had those. I don't remember the names of them. And there were two malls that had the trolleys that ran in the mall. They were like, it was like a little golf cart with like cars that it would tow, where they would stop they would go and they would stop at a section and you go sit on it, and then they just did this giant loop all the way around the mall. It was like it was always on, but they had them on each floor. But you had to go up. They didn't go, the trolleys themselves didn't go up and down. Oh, where were those? Did you guys have those anywhere else? Were those anywhere else? Because you could actually hop the trolley. It was like a golf cart trolley, but it was seats, and you just sat on it, and they would make stops so that people didn't have to walk from store to store to store to store. And they didn't stop at every single store, but in sections. And sometimes we'd just get on that and just ride until the guy would go, "Hey, you got to get off because this is for people who are shopping." We would do that sometimes. And Ken says, then you would head over to Radio Shack to see all the new technologies and the Texas Instruments. How? Our Radio Shacks were in their own separate little shops. They were not at the mall. We did not have a Radio Shack at the mall. Can't remember ever seeing a Radio Shack at the mall when I was, because they were a specific little shop in and to themselves where I grew up. And you had to go to Radio Shack. You didn't just wander into it in a mall. You had to go there on purpose. Does Radio Shack still exist? I don't think I've seen one in the longest time. I'm thinking places like Best Buy and Circuit City, which is no longer around. I like Circuit City a lot more than Best Buy, frankly. I really did like Circuit City. But Best Buy, I think those kind of shut Radio Shack down, sort of. And now you buy almost all that stuff online anyway, so there really is nowhere to go to look at new technology, other than, I guess, if you want to go to Best Buy. But, oh well. Now, I do remember, I think this was, I mean, there were two places. So this is, what was it? There were these hobby shops that we would go to. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what they were called. Also back when AFX, the little electric race cars that you would put on the big tracks, and they just, I don't even know if those are still a thing. Probably, are those even still around anymore? Loved those. Loved those. You know, I knew a few guys who had tracks, so I would buy my own car, and a car was like maybe, gosh, I want to say maybe it was $3 or $4, and they had the little slot cars, AFX slot cars, and you'd put them in the track, and they would go. And I remember guys got into that, and they would mod those things. They would put different little motors or whatever, which were really just the little coil wrap, electric spinning motor thing. They would do all kinds and change out the tires. I would just buy a car so I could go over their house and play with my own car, because they're, oh, you use my car. You gotta bring your own car. And so I had a few of my own of those, but they were really cool. I really liked that. Never had my own AFX track, my own slot car track. I always kind of wanted that. I don't even know if that's a thing that exists anymore. But they also had the trains, electric trains, and all the different sizes and stuff, models. And I did a lot of models when I was younger. A lot of those. I can't remember the name of it. Oh my gosh! And there were a few. Can't remember the name of that. Wish I could. I forgot about a lot of that stuff. I would probably play AFX cars, the little slot cars, if those were still a thing. It was almost fun. And trains. We had a lot. I still have trains at home. I don't have them out. They're not set up. Didn't even put up my Christmas train. I've got a Christmas train. I did not put that up this year. I actually have a little desktop train, a little teeny tiny little N scale, G scale. I can't remember. It was a teeny tiny one. I think it was an N. It used to be I used to have that set up on a desk in one of my offices long ago. Let's see if I can find that. And this is promotion boxes. A tune all their own for the boxes that are promoting the items that are for sale. Those are like the display boxes, the cardboard setups. Forgot about that. I used to. How did I forget all this stuff? Man, this little walk in the mall has been quite the memory jog for me, for old Uncle Pete here. But I used to collect movie posters and the cardboard movie cutouts. That was back in the mid to late 80s. I had a lot of those. And ultimately, I used to buy them and sell them. Ultimately, got rid of all those. I just got kind of tired of doing it. But I had a ton of those a long time ago. I forgot that. Ton of Star Wars stuff. I wonder if people still collect that kind of thing. Probably be worth a lot now. Because I had a bunch of stuff from the 50s all the way up through the 80s in movie posters and cardboard stand-ups that you would put in the movie theater lobbies and stuff. I had tons of those. I did that for like 4 years, 3, 4, 5 years, something like that, back in the late 80s. But it was really, I did it most. It was cool. I enjoyed those things. It was mostly a way that I made extra money going to swap meets and stuff. because you'd hit up the theaters when they were getting ready to throw the stuff out, because they'd just throw it out to set up for new movies that were coming in. And if you got in and made friends with the folks that were responsible for throwing that stuff out, they'd just give you a call or tell you when they do it, and you just stop in and just instead of them throwing it in the dumpster out back and all the posters and everything, 'cause they were always sent extra posters, some that they never even unrolled or opened. They just give them to you. You just go. You can sell them for, I sold them anywhere, depending on what it was. It was a really hot movie or whatever. It was anywhere from 75 cents to $3 per poster. You tried to always pick them up for less than $1 so you could make something on them. Forgot about that. Hey, Kent. Thanks for hanging out. You were the only chatty Cathy this morning here, but glad you did. Kent's got to run. He says, have a good day. You have a great day, too. As a matter of fact, it is 8:28. I do have to wrap up this live portion of Uncle Pete in the Morning today so that we can go learn about the upcoming film festival for October 2021, which will be sponsored and hosted by the McHenry Area Chamber of Commerce. As most of you know, I do have a day life as well. Not just Uncle Pete in the Morning here on 216 The Net, but also am the membership director for the McHenry Area Chamber of Commerce. If you'd like to learn more about that, go to McHenryChamber.com. My show, I can do that. Even though, that's all right. Uncle Pete in the Morning, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m., Friday, 6 a.m. with Mary Catherine's Power Hour playlist. I hope that you've all enjoyed this walk in the mall. You asked for it, you got it. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7. And this is the store song. We'll let the store song play us out. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, I've been Uncle Pete in the Morning here. I'll continue to be Uncle Pete in the Morning. I'll do that again tomorrow. Right here on 216 The Net, 216thenet.com. This has been Uncle Pete at the Uncle Pete Goes to the Mall. Uncle Pete Goes to the Mall because you guys wanted mall music today. Again, you asked for it, you get it. There you go. I hope you had a nice walk through the mall. Maybe perhaps a little stroll down memory lane as I did with Kent. And remember, today at 12 noon, we've got Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. Brand new episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll be back again tomorrow, 7 a.m. U.S. Central Time. Uncle Pete in the Morning. We'll catch you.